This is my stick welder. They sell these on eBay and Amazon. I think Amazon's currently the cheapest in the UK. You'll find this stick weld is about £57. So it's 200 amp. I mean, it's Chinese, so it's probably not actually 200 amp, but they're pretty generic. You'll find these in different casings as well. So this is a ZX7. You'll probably find it under different brand names as well. Comes with pretty much everything you need. It comes with the cables, the earth strap, the stick holder. Even comes with a really cheap, crappy welding mask. I mean, it's not the best welding mask in the world, but I have used it and it does work. Probably want to get something better, really, though, to protect your eyes. You need to buy yourself a packet of sticks, but that does also depend on what you weld in and your welding style. That's just the type I've gone for. Hi guys, so don't attempt to adjust your set. This isn't the welding bunker. You are still tuned in to the Liberty bunker. Why am I talking about a stick welder? So before we begin, I am filming outside, so this is going to make up my designated 1 hour of exercise a day. Is it legal? Is it legal to vlog outside anymore? I don't know. That's crazy, isn't it? Like 6 months ago, if someone said, I'm not even too sure if it's legal to make a YouTube video outside in 6 months' time, you'd have said, no way. But that's the case. I don't know if this is legal. This is probably in violation of some sort of law. But if the police come, I'm running, because I can probably run a mile in sub 6 minutes. There's probably not many police. I'm not saying 6 minutes is great, but it's probably better than most police officers. So I will crack out that sub 6 minute mile and and just be gone if the 5-0 come for violation of making vlogs outside during the coronavirus epidemic. I don't know if that's legal or not. Anyway, so why am I showing you a stick welder? We've done a few videos on preparation now. We did the first one about getting hold of rice and pasta, and because we expected the supermarkets to sell out of you know, essentials like that as coronavirus took hold. That did happen. Did a second video, and I think that was more about like buying things like gold and silver. I still recommend that. I still think everybody should have a reasonable supply of food in the house, especially long-term things that you can store like rice and pasta. It's quite probable as we go into the summertime there will be shortages of certain foods. This is more likely to be things like fresh fruit and fresh vegetables. You know, the UK heavily relies on overseas work, like especially Eastern Europeans come to the UK to like pick fruit and be farm workers, and that's probably gonna impact fresh fruit and vegetable supplies. Obviously a lot of our fruit and veg comes from abroad as well, flowing into the country, things like that. That's probably going to be impacted. So, but that's only going to be fresh fruit and veg, so we're still you're not going to die basically. There's still going to be rice and pasta, probably. I mean, rice could be impacted, who knows. But I don't expect us to starve. Anyway, why am I showing you a stick welder? Well, we've done the videos on buying like gold and silver. I mean, people have messaged me saying, look, they can't put the money aside to buy gold. I mean, silver, most people can do it because you can invest at really low levels on eBay if it's circulated coins. People sell circulated coins, you know, for, you know, 10, 20, 30 pounds. But if you're looking for something that's not bullion, and if shortages do start appearing in the bullion markets, think what else you can do, because the world is changing. The pre-virus world we used to live in, you know, 6 months, a year ago, that world is gone. And whether it comes back and how much of it comes back, who knows, because we're still living in the period of instability. We don't know what the governments are going to do, how the central banks are going to react, how the economy, like in my opinion, as little that the central banks and the governments do to intervene in this recession, the better, because they almost always make things worse. That's just my view. That's just my view from looking at history, like the Great Depression, you know, the dot-com bubble, the housing bubble of 08. Every time these governments and central banks intervene, they make the situation worse. So hopefully they'll do as little as possible and the economy bounces back quite easily. However, I'm not that confident that they will do little. I'm quite confident they're going to do a lot. And I'm quite confident they're going to do a lot of the wrong things as well, bailing out the wrong companies, very, very low interest rates for pretty much forever now until the currencies just collapse. QE to infinity. It's probably not going to be good, and gold and silver will prepare you for that. Having a fairly reasonable buffer of food will prepare you for the worst of these scenarios as shortages happen. Just look at countries like Venezuela and Zimbabwe that have gone down these roads of just financial, monetary insanity to see what can happen. Now, gold doesn't last forever, silver doesn't last forever. Eventually you will have exchanged all of it for the other goods and services that you will want to exchange for that. So the long term, the preparation 2.0 now is think what skills and abilities you have that you could trade in the future for other goods and services, because a lot of people are losing their jobs at the moment. Unemployment rate is going to go sky high in the UK, it's going sky high in America. If you have something like a stick welder, I'm not saying it's going to be as bad as like Venezuela in this country. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying it could happen, and the mistakes that Venezuela and Zimbabwe made, we're making very similar mistakes at the moment. However, hopefully it won't be that bad. Hopefully the people of the UK and the politicians don't allow that to happen. But just think, like, preparation is always about what's the worst thing that can happen. Now, I have that stick welder because I work a lot on cars, so it's useful for just welding like bits of metal together. Stick welders aren't the best welders. If you know about welding, MIG's much better, TIG's even better than that. But stick welding does work. Yes, I can weld 2 bits of metal. Is it pretty? No. Is it strong enough? Yes. That's the purpose of the stick welder, right? So you should start thinking, what can you do to, what abilities do you have? Like if you like sewing, think, well, and you don't have a sewing machine, think, well, now's a good time to buy a sewing machine, right? Because that's preparation. If you like cooking, maybe buy some giant, like huge, pan, that you like, some 20 or 30 litre pan that you could bulk cook like various meals for and exchange those for goods and services in the future. All these things are things that we should maybe consider now, because hopefully you own some gold, hopefully you own some silver, hopefully you do have a stock of some food in your house, these provisions. So this, basically what I'm saying is preparation 2.0 now. If you want to be in a position that you can protect yourself, can protect your family, this is the road you should be going down. Just think of what skills you have. So I like working on cars, I have that stick welder, so that stick welder essentially now is in my preparation armory, right? So if the recession is really bad and a neighbor like has some old car that maybe they would have sold a long time ago, now they're like, there's a car there. Say someone has a car that they just trying to keep on the road, well, I've got a stick welder, so if the seals are a bit blown out, or there's a suspension arm that needs like bodging together, I can potentially do that with a stick welder. So it's in the armory. All I'm saying now, this is don't think of preparation anymore as just buying food, buying gold and silver, because hopefully you will have done that, or if you haven't done it, especially with the gold and silver, it's probably going to become increasingly difficult to do that. And gold and silver doesn't last forever anyway. It's a store of value, but eventually you would exchange all of that gold and silver for things that you want, like food and protection and things like that. So just think of this as preparation 2.0 now. In my armory essentially is the stick welder. So in economies that are poor, right, we're quite blessed in the UK up until now. Things have been like pretty abundant, right? If things just break, you just throw it in the bin, or you take it down the tip and you buy a new one. Potentially that may change. That's what I'm saying. Potentially that may, especially, we rely so much on things from China. That could be changing, and it takes a while to set factories back up in the West, factories in America, factories in the UK. So if it goes down the road that we're going to start not relying so much on China for overseas imports, setting factories up in the US, America, Africa, alternatives to China takes a while. So there might be a short period of, mend and make do, right? I think that's the saying from like World War II. So just think what you can do now for yourself. I think the stick welder one is great, but I like welding and I like cars. Think things that you can use yourself for preparation. I know this is a lot more of an abstract video than I normally do, but hopefully it's of interest of some people, and if you watch it to the end, good going, because I know it's been a bit of a tangent, this one. Anyway, stick welder is now in my preparation armory. Think of things and skills you have that, if you were dumped in Venezuela, basically, right, an economy that's been torn apart, what skills would you use to be able to like barter and exchange for food and whatever else you need, right? Just think of it that way. Hopefully it never gets that bad. That's the point about preparation, is thinking, well, what could happen? Hopefully it's not that bad, but what could a worst case scenario potentially be, and prepare for that. And hopefully, I had this stick welder anyways, it's not cost me anything. And if you like sewing, why not have a sewing machine? If you like cooking, why not have like the pots and pans and the necessary implements you need to be able to like bulk cook and things like that. That's what I'm saying. Well, thanks for watching this video, guys. Anyway, it's preparation 2.0 now. I hope you like this video. I know it's way more abstract than we normally do. Yeah, thanks for watching this one. Jason from Liberty Bunker sign off, and I'll see you in the next video.